Hey, what is up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we are going to be doing some account reviews yet again, and I am having a lot of fun doing these, guys. Honestly, it has been a blast. So if you haven't already, go down, join my Discord, go to the channel that says account submissions, take a quick screen recording of your account, your memories, and your characters, submit them on the Google Drive folder that I have pinned in the Discord channel, and I will review your account for you. So today we are starting with Bottomatic's account, their memories, and their characters, and we'll be doing one more person's. We're going to do about 2 per video. Once again, I'm going to try to do these once every 2 weeks or every week around the weekend times. So I am excited to get into this. Before we even press play on their screen recording here, let's take a look at what they have just starting off. They have a level 105 DX adventure weights, which is amazing. That is really, really good. Obviously, you know what memory was the best memory, still potentially one of the better memories or one of the best memories in the game up to this point in the game, but it was very, very good for a very long time. And the fact that you have a level 105 proves to me that you know what you're doing. The one thing I would say is I'm guessing you probably got more than this one copy of Adventure Weights, but you never know. Like back when Jay Fanta played the game, he played for months without ever getting a copy, and then he finally got a copy and then quit. So I mean, if you got multiple copies of this memory, I wish you hadn't put them all into DXing, but if you only got the one copy and you used your UR limit breaker tickets for this, good job. You have the free-to-play memories, which are good. You actually have 2 copies of this free-to-play memory. You have it's almost DX'd, and you chose to do a second copy, which is interesting. I find that really kind of odd. Maybe you're working on trying to get these DX'd. I don't know that this memory is good enough to deserve 2 copies that are fully DX'd. I don't know if that is a wise use of your exchange points that you get for doing this. But yeah, you've done it, so I feel like there are better things you could have used your points on, though, probably, but it's fine. It is what it is. And then we got these other memories. So those are mainly your DX ones. I'm guessing all of your UR limit breaker tickets probably went into this one, and it wasn't extra copies if you don't have any of these DX'd. That would be my guess. And then I'm guessing these 2 are just DX'd because you pulled extra copies of it, which is perfectly okay. For some reason, you are holding on to an extra copy of this memory. This memory is not that good. It is just, it's not. Just put this or this one into each other. It's not worth keeping an extra copy. Realistically, like this one right here, definitely worth keeping an extra copy. Very good for VE Tower, raises your plus ultra gauge, raises your crit rate. Having 2 separate copies of it is better than having 1 copy of it. But this one right here, just having like barrier, and I don't even remember what else it does. It gives you a barrier. It's just not that, it's not good. It's not really worth having that take up your memory box slots, especially when you are at 196 out of 200. Okay, continuing on, let's see what else you got here. Okay, so you do have the villain memory. You have a lot of the similar memories I have. I don't really see anything too far that you have that I don't have, which is good. So I would assume you've been playing for a while. You do have 2 hot pot memories, which is great. I actually only have 1 hot pot memory because I've only pulled 1. And so the fact that you have 2 of them is good. This is a memory you could actually work on DXing a little bit. It's not going to hurt you. Obviously, don't put them into each other, but that might be an idea for one of the memories you want to work on DXing. As far as this memory goes right here, it's okay. Once again, not worth keeping 2 around, and I think that might be something we find throughout your account now after seeing a couple of your memories is that you have duplicates of URs or SRs where you just don't need duplicates because the memories aren't really worth it. They aren't that good. This memory right here, I will say you don't have any DXing into it. This should be like your primary memory from now on that you're focusing on DXing. Like this memory is probably the single UR memory that is the most important to DX in the game right now when it comes to PvE content and VE Tower content. When it comes to PvP, it's obviously a different memory, but this memory gives you, if you level it up, technical hits and plus ultra gauge. Right now it just gives you plus ultra gauge and crit, so you'll get plus ultra gauge, crit, and a technical hit if you DX this memory. You do have to DX it in order to get the technical hits out of it, but this memory is freaking insane once you DX it. Like, it's really, really good. Continuing on in your count, let's see. Okay, so another prime example. Yes, sir. This memory is, once again, kind of honestly dookie. You don't need multiple copies of it, so yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with this right here. I know this is a crit memory. I know it is a free-to-play memory, right? but it's actually, I mean, you can keep them separate, but still, once again, another one of those memories that is a lot better when it's DX, because it increases your, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, it increases your critical skill impact by I think 50% when it's DX'd, and that allows characters like Dobby to break the damage cap with their Hellfire. So you actually want this memory DX'd if you can, but then when it's not DX'd, it doesn't do nearly as much damage, and you're not able to hit like that big max damage 200,000 damage number with Hellfire that you're able to hit with Dobby when you don't have this memory DX. So just keep that in mind. This memory, I think, is a memory that's better to actually put all the copies into one, in my personal opinion, or at least start getting one of these worked on for DXing. This free-to-play memory, having 2 copies of this is actually okay because it's a technical hit memory. So having 2 copies of it for VE Tower is all right. You have words. I don't know what to say about this. Let's see if you have more than just the 4. If you have more than 4, that's actually okay. No, you just have the 4. All right, so you have 4 of this memory. It's actually, yeah, you know what? Keep it. You know what? You're good on that. You're good on that. I think this is the one, if I remember right. I could be wrong. All the anniversary memories look so similar to me, but I think it increases villain crit rate, right? If you have this one, I believe. Don't quote me on that. This is, I'm not looking at the database or anything like that, but off the top of my head, I think this one like does something for heroes and then also increases the villain crit rate. Personally, I did not pull this memory, and it is a limited memory. As far as I know, it will never be back. So the fact that you have 4 of them is actually kind of insane, and good on you for keeping them separate, I suppose, as long as it is in fact a decent memory. If it is not a decent memory, if it's one of the other anniversary ones, like for example, right now, the global 1-year anniversary memory, kind of dookie. So don't keep them separate if they're dookie, but I think this one's a decent one that actually gives you crit rate for villains, so that's fine. This one's good to keep separate. It is crit rate, so once again, anything with crit rate is actually a decent memory. You have another copy down here. A bunch of level 1s. This one, you just bought these. Okay, fair enough. I don't think you need 2 copies of it. You could probably DX for this memory. It's not super great. You don't need to have multiple copies of this UR memory. And then friendly reinforcements still isn't DX'd. You need to get going on friendly reinforcements. Friendly reinforcements gets a lot better when you DX it. It is a very good memory. Will carry you through climax battle content or USJ content, even just content where characters have a lot of health. It will definitely carry you through that. All right, and then let's see your SR memories. It looks like you have all of these DX'd. And I am pretty happy actually, because I'm seeing a lot of free-to-play memories that are, I think this one's free-to-play. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know this one is. I'm pretty sure this one is. Yeah, so these 2 are definitely free-to-play. But I'm seeing a lot of free-to-play memories that are DX'd, which is great. You actually have what used to be one of the better PvP SR memories DX, so that leads me to believe that you might have used this at some point. This is still a decent memory if you're a newer player to be DXing, because it gives you evasion and speed. So if you're a newer player right there, work on DXing that memory. And yeah, lots of good stuff going on here. And now I see that you have quite a few memories that are not fully leveled up, which is perfectly okay. For the most part, because I understand that it can be hard to come by the memory tonics. Those are probably the hardest thing to farm out in the game right now to get enough of for all of your memories. Now you have a crap ton of level 1 memories here, and they're fully DX'd, but you don't have them locked. Please lock your memories. Please, guys, please. I think you guys, like you, I know you know how the lock button works. I know you know how it works because you have some of them locked, but you have others not locked. So if they're fully DX'd, you know, probably lock them up. If they're an extra copy and you already have a DX one, get rid of these, clean out your box. That just really, yeah, clean your box, guys. Keep your stuff organized. Lock your memories. I don't have to tell you how to live your lives. Man, but it's like when a person keeps a million tabs open on their phone, right? You don't need all those tabs open. Close your tabs. You don't need them all. Same thing here. You know, get rid of the excess memories. Lock up your memories you want to keep. Good on you for keeping this event memory actually separate. I did advise people to keep, you know, 2-3 copies of it. 4 is even fine, so it's a decent memory. Will be very good in the 3-turn clear VE towers because it increases crit rate and lowers action skill cooldown time, and it increases your crit rate for 3 turns, so it'll actually be a fairly decent SR memory for VE tower. It's not going to be by any means broken, but it is decent, so yeah, make sure you're leveling those up, locking those up, please, for the love of everything. And same thing with all these other memories, lock them up. You have a bunch of rare memories here. Like half of these rare memories are not useful. They're not even worth keeping. You're going to pull them infinitely forever till the end of time. Not worth keeping them. The memories that are worth keeping, let's see here, out of the rare memories, this one's worth keeping. I think this one's somewhat decent because it gives crit rate, but this one's like really the only one that's really worth keeping. You could keep a couple copies of this one because this memory is very good, and you should also level up this memory, lock this rare memory, and then the rest of these, really, they could be gotten rid of for the most part. They're just not that great. But overall, you have some good memories. You have a lot of them leveled up. You have a lot of them not leveled up. You need to lock your memories, especially the ones you're DXing. Get rid of some of these rare memories if you ever need to open up space. If you just like collecting all the memories, you know, that's perfectly okay too. Lock them up so you don't accidentally delete them. And then later, after you've locked all your memories, here's what you need to do. Lock your memories. After you've locked all your memories, go to the cell menu, go to the filter menu, choose to get rid of all the rare memories, SR memories that aren't locked, and you won't have to go through and select them one by one. It will select them all for you automatically, and press delete. That's what you need to do. Let's take a look at your characters. Bottomatic. So these are Bottomatic's characters, starting off strong with Fantasy Bakugo, Fantasy Todoroki, and Fantasy Juro, all level 100 at the top. That is phenomenal. That is very good. You have Nejire level 100, so this tells me you've been playing since Nejire was meta, at least, because otherwise anyone who started playing the game later would have Uraraka level 100, and then Nejire would be their level 90, but in this case it's vice versa for you. So that means you started playing when Nejire was meta. That means I would say you're like a mid. You've probably been playing about 6 months or so, would be my guess. Yeah, I'd say 6 months or so, because you don't have Fantasy Deku. Well, as far as I know, we might scroll down and see it, but you don't have Fantasy Deku, and Fantasy Deku and Bakugo came out at the same time. And so I think you got this on the rerun banner probably. And so probably about a 6-month account would be my guess. You know, let me know in the comments if you happen to be watching this, how old your account is, but my guess would be about half a year, maybe a little more than half a year. But you have all your fantasy characters leveled up. Ida is only level 90. So characters that you should be working on, that you're probably working on, obviously Fantasy Ida, work on Fantasy Kaminari, work on Uraraka. If you want an order out of these three, Fantasy Ida first, very good in PvP, even with the new fantasy characters that have come out with the new Fantasy Kirishima and the new Fantasy Ochako Uraraka. Like, this Fantasy Ida is very good. Then you want to work on Ocean Sun Uraraka because she's still a really good support. I would say Ocean Sun Uraraka and the new Fantasy Uraraka are like on par with each other, very good, but for separate reasons. And then lastly, out of your characters, you should probably be working on Fantasy Kaminari. Fantasy Kaminari is good, but just unless he's level 130, he's not going to be as good as like a level 100 Fantasy Ida. And then scrolling down, you do have the New Year's Deku. New Year's Deku you should be working on probably somewhat soon. He's actually decent overall for his stuns, low cooldowns, PvP. Free-to-play characters, make sure you're doing your dispatches with Gentle Criminal in them so you get pieces, so you can get him leveled up a little bit quicker. Because Gentle Criminal is kind of meta right now in PvP. He's still fairly decent for his speed, and a leveled up Gentle Criminal can do very well in PvP. Dabi's level 85. A lot of level 85 characters, not really level 90 yet. So that does lead me to believe, and just kind of reaffirms that you've only been playing for about 6 months, probably not the full year that the game has been out. And then scrolling down here, you do have climax battle characters. So you have the Gentle Criminal, you have the Best Genius, you have the All for One. I am proud of you for that. That means you have cleared climax battle on double S difficulty, or at the very least, you have farmed out S difficulty to buy the characters, but I'm going to assume you beat double S difficulty because like you did have your other climax battle characters besides Best Genius leveled up somewhat. So congratulations on that. Out of these characters down here, Red Hawks could probably be leveled up a little bit. He's actually fairly good. I've seen him used in PvP. He can be used in PvE for his low cooldowns. Like, he has decent amount of uses. He's a decent character. Villain's not really worth anything. Overhaul, best villain in the game still, arguably, besides maybe Twice, who is a decent defense unit, but like still not fantastic. So Overhaul might be, if you wanted to pick a villain to work on, maybe work on Overhaul, work on his ability board, because his low chance to bleed becomes a medium chance to bleed as you get his ability board leveled up. So he can be pretty good. and you have a decent amount of UR characters, so good job with those. Now, what does bother me is that I am seeing a level 1 Bakugo and a level 1 Todoroki. It is not hard to get level up bars, and I could almost guarantee you like 100% you have extra level up bars lying around. At least level these guys up to level 80, please, for the love of everything. This purple Bakugo used to be debated with blue Bakugo like as one of the best units in the game. Like, granted, he's kind of fallen off, he's not super good, but he is decent, he does decent damage, and he deserves to be leveled up a little bit more than being down here at the bottom of your UR list. As for your SR characters, you do have the free-to-play characters pretty much all level 120 except for the Endeavor and the Twice, which means you might have spent a little bit of stamina on double XP weekend, or sorry, not double XP weekend, double drop rate weekend instead of doing your events. And this is a big mistake that a lot of people make, is they'll do all their stamina on a double drop weekend instead of doing the event, and then they can't finish the character. So you can literally free to play every SR event SR in the game if you just use your stamina on the event and nothing else. You have to ignore the double XP, the double drop, triple drop rate weekends and focus on your characters. I know that's hard to do, but just think about it. You'll be able to level up whatever other character you're working on later, but you won't be able to, for free, level up these SRs later. You're going to have to go into the Star Shop and buy their pieces. And let's be honest, if you're forced to choose between your URs that are up there and your SRs that are down here, you're not going to be buying these guys pieces. You're going to be buying the UR pieces. So get these for free while you can, while their events are out. Obviously too late for these guys, but just keep that in mind. You do have Kami, you've been around since Kami. You have been around since Kami. Okay, so maybe you have been around longer than I thought. Okay, if you have Kami, you've been around for a while. Okay, I might have been wrong. All right, we continue down. Let's see what else you got here. Bunch of level 70, 75s. At least you got them leveled up somewhat, for the most part. I would be working on this Aizawa a little bit. There's a couple of other characters I would be working on if I was you. Work on this All Might, he can be decent. Work on this Kaminari, he can be decent. Let's see what else you got. Work on this Dabi, he's very, very good, especially, I know you have purple Dabi, but if someone doesn't have purple Dabi, this Dabi is like a second best Dabi in the game for you. Very good. He pairs well with the purple Dabi, so you want to level him up. Oh my gosh, and now we get down to the level 1 characters level. There's no way you don't have the stamina bars to do this unless you're just not doing your level up quest every day. Level up your characters, please, for the love of everything, except for this character right here. She doesn't ever need to be leveled up. She doesn't ever need to be worked on. Just a gross, disgusting use of a character, especially since she ruins all my summons. I'm just kidding. No, go ahead and level her up, but level up all your characters if you can, to the best of your ability. You don't even have your rare characters leveled up, and this makes me wish I could see your ability board progress on these characters, because here's another piece of advice for anyone that's ever wondered how to get a bunch of gems really quickly. First off, trust is massive, but besides that, people overlook the rare character and SR character ability boards. Go in, do the first 2 or 3 ability boards on every rare character, every SR character, and you can farm out a ton of hero gems and get a few extra summons out of that. So I'm going to assume because you haven't leveled up these characters, you probably haven't done their ability board. So if you want a few extra free summons, go in, level up these characters, and do their ability boards up to board 2 or 3 for every single rare and SR character. And I can't really fault you for not leveling up your rare characters, because nobody really does. But even now, rare characters have their uses in the game, and they can be decent. So keep that in mind with the new ability boards. Rare characters are okay. And that is it for Bottomatic's account right here. We are going to be taking a look at another person's account here in a second. For our final account of the video here, we have Kaz, who has submitted their memories and characters, and I feel like I'm looking at perhaps a mini whale right here. Maybe not a mini whale, maybe an actual whale of a player. There is no way, Kaz, that you have not spent money on this game. I mean, for crying out loud, you have 2 of these DX'd. I have 1 of them DX'd. You have 2 of them DX'd. This is a 50% speed memory for anyone who doesn't know. So yeah, you're probably a bit of a whale, and I appreciate it because looking at this, it makes me feel better about myself for the money I've spent on the game. It makes me not feel so bad. All right, so let's get into this account review. This is actually a little bit insane. I feel very happy and a little bit overwhelmed, and like, yeah, I'm just excited. Let's take a look at this. So you have this memory DX'd, which is fine. It is a power crit memory. DXing this memory doesn't really do anything for your crit rate, so it's not really necessary, which just goes to show me that you've probably pulled multiple copies of this. There's no way you use UR limit breaker tickets on this memory, so the fact that you're pulling this many copies of this memory means you have gone in on some banners. Same thing with this memory here. You have DX 2 copies of the free-to-play memory, which is fine. That's cool. Honestly, with how many memories you have every right to DX these. You don't need 3, 4, 5 copies. If you're a newer player, don't DX these. Just get 3 or 4 copies of it to compensate for the fact that you might be lacking crit memories for VE Tower. Obviously, Kaz, though, you don't need to compensate, so you're fine with having 2 DX copies of this memory. And then looking at all these other ones, just a bunch of like, doesn't need to be DX, doesn't need to be DX'd. This one could be, it's fine. This one doesn't need to be DX'd. This one could be, it's a crit rate memory, it's decent. Definitely doesn't need to be DX'd. I also have this one DX'd, and it's definitely not worth it. The art is sick, and you know what? That's fair to DX it just for the art. These do need to be DX decent. Once again, doesn't need to be DX for this one. I don't know if you actually put extra copies into it. I'm gonna assume you probably did put your extra copies into it, and that was probably a waste. You probably should have kept at least 1 or 2 of these separate so you could have multiple copies of this memory. So that's one thing you could have probably done differently. But I mean, like I said, you probably have plenty of crit rate memories in here. So you're probably fine. The only reason I say keep this one separate is because it is a crit rate plus ultra memory, and those are a little bit more rare to come by, and it is a decent memory. Doesn't need to be DX, doesn't need to be DX'd. This one is a good one to DX. It is a free-to-play memory, so I'm happy to see that you are getting the free-to-play memories DX'd, which is like insane. You have really been grinding out your USJ, your VE Tower, so good job on that. Doesn't need to be DX'd anymore. This did need to be DX back in the day. I actually don't even have a single copy of it because I was never lucky enough to pull a copy of the 3 Musketeers. There are better speed memories in the game, but back in the day, back when the game first came out on Global a year ago, this used to be the best speed memory in the game. So good job on DXing that. I'm going to assume that was probably, or my guess is going to be, that was probably one of your first memories that you ever DX'd. So you were probably just wrecking Ultra Arena would be my guess. And then just let's scroll down here a little bit more and see what else you got. This memory right here, I wish I had this memory. It is it's not great, but like, you know, props on you for having it. Like, look at these, so many DX memories, guys. This is just, what is going on? How much money have you spent on this game, sir? Like, drop a number in the comments if you are watching this, because like, you spend more money than I do. I'm telling you right now, Kaz spends more money on my hero than I do. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to let people know that other people spend more money than me, because like, this is nuts. You have 3 copies of Adventure Awaits DX'd. You have 3 copies of Friendly Reinforcements DX'd. What the heck, sir? Are you okay? Is your bank account okay? Are you financially okay? Are the people that like, are they coming after you for your car's extended warranty because you haven't paid it? Oh man, what is, dude? Oh my goodness, when does the DXing stop? When does it stop? Okay, right here is where it stops. Okay, thank goodness. You already have badminton tournament. What the heck, man? You have badminton tournament already DX'd, and that was a relatively new memory as well. How much money? How much money? I need to know. I need to know. Anyways, guys, this is not a mini whale. This is a full-blown whale, as whaley as it gets right here. This is the biggest whale I have ever seen in the game. So far, we might see an account that, if anyone has an account that is more whaley than this, make sure you go submit your account for a review. But woo, okay, so I almost feel bad critiquing your account because, like, obviously, hopefully, I mean, maybe you just spend money on the game and you don't really play it, but hopefully you play the game and you know what you're doing. So, like, there's just no point in me telling you what to do with your account, what's good, what's bad, what memories you should be working on. I will tell you, though, the one thing that does bother me, you have all those DX memories, right? But this memory right here is not DX. That kind of triggers me. That triggers me a lot. Please get this memory DX for VE Tower because it does have the technical hit on it, the critical hit rate. It's like really, really good. And your plus ultra gauge. It's such a good memory. It's one you want to DX as soon as possible. And then another thing that kind of triggers me. Why do you have 2 copies of this? It's not worth it. It's not that good. You don't need 2 copies of this memory. Put one of these copies in the other, free up some of your space. You have 390 box space. You have literally bought extra space on your box too. I didn't even notice that till now. Oh my guy. Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna continue. You have the free to play technical memory. You could probably work on DXing that a little bit if you wanted to. That's something you could be working on. This memory, I think, no, that's not Protect the Mentor. Okay, ignore me. I was thinking Protect the Mentor. Protect the Mentor is a really good defensive memory that also features Tokoyami and Hawks, though. I don't know if I saw that memory up above, but it's really good on the new Kirishima. And then you have 3 copies of this as well. Jesus, you have more adventure awaits down here, dude. He has 3 more adventure awaits that aren't DX'd. What? Hello? You have 3. Oh my goodness. When do the UR memories end? Okay, here it is. This is Protect the Mentor right here. You probably want to DX one of these copies of Protect the Mentor because it could be really good on the new Kirishima. And then you have another badminton tournament memory. You probably want to work on DXing that as well. Now we finally get into the SRs. Real quick before we do that, you have 3 of this free-to-play UR that you haven't worked on at all, which is fair. It's not that great, but probably level that up whenever you get a chance. All right, so if all your URs are DX, there's no way you don't have every single SR DX and you have multiple copies of it. Like, that's fine. To be expected. Oh, actually, what? What? Okay, this is throwing me for a loop. Okay, so you just don't care about collecting. You are, well, at least you don't care about collecting SRs, apparently. But you have all those URs DX'd. What is going on? I'm so confused. Why did you get rid of all your SR memories? You've obviously been playing for a while if you have this memory right here, right? You have the World Heroes mission stuff. You have been playing this game pretty much since the start. And you've gotten rid of all of your SR memories. Why? Why would you do that? I mean, granted, I know they're not as good as the UR memories, but there are still decent SR memories that can compensate for where you're lacking UR memories. Why? I'm so good. Why did you do this? What are you doing? The account was looking amazing. The account was looking so good. And then you've done this and I am just triggered. Like, why? I mean, the good news is you can get all of these SR memories still, or get them back, because obviously you're doing a crap ton of summons. You'll be able to get them whenever you want, realistically, unless it's an event memory. I don't think you've deleted your event memories. It looks like you kept at least the event memories, so hopefully you did that much. But there are decent SR memories. And then on top of that, if we go back, you have some of these SR memories locked, right? So you value some of them for whatever reason. I don't know why these particular ones are locked, but you should be locking all of your SR memories that you want to keep. So please go through and lock the SR memories you want to keep. Please start collecting SR memories. For the love of Christ, you have 390 space. It's not going to hurt your space. You'll have plenty of room for your UR memories still if you just keep 1 copy of every SR memory DX'd. Like, it's not going to hurt you. But wow, what have I just looked at? My mind is literally boggled. Let's take a look at your characters. Okay, so you are what is your job? Where can I apply? And do you do donations? Like, dude, what is going on? Look at, okay guys, this is insane. This is actually insane. I have one level 130 character, and it is this New Year's Deku right here. I have him level 130. How many is this? Just, I haven't even looked at the scroll. 1 2 3 4 5 6 12 level 130 characters. how much money have you spent on this game? That means you are buying like all of the orb packs, you are buying all of the like material packs and stuff like that, because it is literally next to impossible to have more than like 3 or 4 characters level 130 right now with the amount of resources that are in the game without having bought the orbs, without having bought the resource packs. I know, trust me, I have been avoiding vehemently buying those orb packs, buying those resource packs, because I want to see how far just like the double raids, the triple raids can get me in game. I might have to, after seeing this, go buy some of the orb packs and go buy some of the resource packs, because I feel like I'm behind now. I feel like I need to catch up. I've never felt so behind in the game until I looked at your account. Like, this is actually insane. Like, dude, you're impressive. Okay, anyways, my biggest question here, why is Black Whip Deku level 130? Do you just really like Black Whip Deku? If that's the case, fair game, but he's not all he's cracked up to be. He's not that great. He's all right. The rest of these characters I'm okay with being level 130. They all have their place in the game in some way, shape, or form. And then we have even more characters, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Guys, 16 level 130 characters. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kaz. All right, 16 level 130 characters. That is actually nuts. That is crazy. And if you're not spending money, then you're like doing rerolls or something. But like, you know, obviously don't say that out loud. Don't share that you've hacked the game, you're rerolling. But I would assume you get banned for that, because they are kind of cracking down on people who cheat in Ultra Arena and stuff like that. So I would highly believe that you are spending money on this. And I just want to know who is financing you. Because holy moly, I'm not gonna get over it, guys. It's just insane. So many level 130 characters. Like, I am genuinely impressed. And obviously this was submitted before the first anniversary, so keep that in mind. I have almost no doubt in my mind by now that you have a level 130 Kirishima and a level 130 Fantasy Uraraka. But yeah, wow. I'm surprised you only have this Aizawa level 110 and this Kirishima level 110, probably because you didn't pull extra copies of them. But if you do, I'm sure you'll be getting them to level 130 whenever you can. And then we have Ocean Sun Uraraka down here. I am surprised you don't have her level 130, because that means you probably didn't go as much in on her banner as you want. She is a character, though, I'll fully admit, people did not expect her to be as good as she became when Ida came out. When Ida came out after her, she became the best support in the game. Like, she was already good, but she became the best support in the game after Ida and Fantasy Jiro came out. So a lot of people didn't go in on her banner as much as they should have. And so I can actually kind of understand why you only have this Ocean Sun Uraraka level 100. You have Green Todoroki down here, which kind of feels like an insult. He's far better than all the other Todorokis besides Fantasy Todoroki, so he should probably be leveled up a little bit, but maybe you can't get him above level 100 right now, so fair enough. You do have all of these level 100, which is insane. You definitely have more characters level 100 than I do. I think I have, like, if we're just going on level 100s, somewhere around 30 that are level 100, around there. That's my guess off the top of my head. I think it's about that. And so you definitely have way more than that. And you have pretty much every UR in the game. It looks like you might have actually every UR in the game, which is phenomenal. Something I'm still trying to achieve personally. I still need Green Present Mike. I still need the World Heroes Missions Bakugo, if that ever decides to come back. I might just be SOL on that one, but we'll see. And then you have Best Genus down here, who for some reason is still level 80, so that means you slacked off on Climax Battle. You can spend the money, but you can't farm out the Climax Battle, my guy. Nah, you need to get this Best Genus higher. Either that, or you maybe farm Climax Battle and bought the ticket instead of the pieces, but that's just dumb. I don't know why anybody would buy the ticket over the pieces or the DX piece. So I'm gonna assume you slacked on Climax Battle, and whenever this comes back, because it will probably come back after the current All For One, no, it'll be All For One, then it'll be Gentle Criminal, then it'll be Best Genius again. Anyways, whenever he comes back, make sure you're farming out his pieces and his DX piece, Mirko, you have Mommy way down here for whatever reason. That makes me a little bit sad, but you know, it's your choice. She's not that great. She's okay. She's actually decent in the not new climax battle, but in the All for One climax battle. You do have your characters, all of your free-to-play characters, except for Ida and Twice to level 120. I'm going to call you out on that. Yeah, Ida and Twice, you should have been getting to level 120. Looks like you probably used some of your stamina on getting mats for your other characters when you should have been working on these characters. But if you spend as much money as I think you do, I think at any point you could go into the Star Shop and buy their pieces. So you're probably not too worried about it. And then looking at the rest of your SR characters, you do have that Yayorozu leveled up, that Kirishima leveled up, which is good. They're decent. Same with that Endeavor that's up there. Kami is level 90, which is good. She's decent. As far as the characters you do have leveled up, you definitely seem to know what you're doing. You have most of the good characters leveled up. This is a character that can be very good, obviously, in use, right? Probably level her up to level 75, level 80. She works at level 70, but just to give her a little bit bigger of a health pool, because you're going to be using her in VE Tower, you want to level her up a little bit. So that is one character you could be working on. And then looking down here, Purple Mineta is okay, not like a priority, but you could be working on him too. Out of all the Minetas, out of all the characters on this line, right? Purple Mineta, work on him. Yellow Kaminari, work on him in use, right? He can be decent. And then let's see, anything else? All Might can be useful. Kendos are pretty much garbage. Ignore them. You know, they ruin summons. They're just not great. But the All Might you could be working on. And let's see. Anything else? You do have pretty much all the SR characters. I'm glad you can't get rid of SR characters, because I have a feeling if you could, you would, because you did it with the memories. But you need to get this Dabi leveled up. That red Dabi, really good. Works really well with purple Dabi. And then you actually have your rare characters leveled up. So I'm guessing you're like me and you've gone through and leveled up every single character in the game. You've probably done all their ability boards to at least ability board 3, if not more. So, you know, good job on your account. This is a very, 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 I don't have enough varies. I need a couple more, like 20 more, but a very impressive account, like really, really good. Kaz, I am impressed. I can't say much more beyond that. You are, good sir, a whale. Let me know what you do for a job. Give me an application. Once again, do you donate? If you guys who are watching out there enjoyed the video, please go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The goal is by the end of the year to hit 10,000 subscribers. And I know that's a massive goal, but with your guys' help, we can do it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.